Hi, this is Mrs. Graham. I'm going to do a quick video on italics and how to punctuate titles. This is such an easy skill, and once you learn this one time, you'll never have to learn it again. So I'm going to go through this with you really easily, and then this will never be an issue with your writing again. So just stay with me for a few minutes. The first thing we're going to talk about are italics. And italics were actually invented in Italy. And if you understand what italics are, is basically it was invented by a man named Aldus Manutius. And there are two types of writing. There is the Roman script, which is straight up and down like this. And then there's an italics, which is kind of like, and it's hard to write it, but it's this like kind of slanted. And you can kind of see it down here too. It's right there. It's very hard to write by hand, but it's very easy because you can use it when you're typing. And italics has two purposes. Okay, italics has two purposes, and the first one is for emphasis. So, for example, if I said, "You are amazing." You could use italics with the word amazing, and that would be an easy way to use italics. The second way to use italics is with titles. Now, whenever you have large titles or full-length titles, okay, so you use italics with full-length titles, okay? Now, they used to say you always used underlining. Well, you do. You use underlining if you are handwriting something. So if I'm writing something and I say, did you see the movie Star Wars? Then if I'm handwriting it, then of course I'm going to underline it because I'm not going to pretend to be able to write in the italic script. That's virtually impossible. So if you're handwriting something and it's a large group, a large full work like these right here, novels, plays, sorry about that, book-length poems, newspapers, magazines, movies, names of ships, but I'm going to be honest with you. How often are you going to use a name of a ship? I'm not sure. Probably not that often, I'm thinking. Works of art, an entire CD album, an entire CD, you're going to use italics. And so I did want to show that to you. So if you're writing, you use underlining. But if you are typing, which is going to be most of the time, and you write the name of a book, like I just read The Giver, then you write The Giver, and then you are going to underline it. Now, let me give you something that might surprise you, and that's just, in the English language, we always have exceptions. Here's an exception. Whenever you write like, I'm reading the Bible, then you would say, I'm reading the Bible. And you always capitalize words like, and I don't know why I just wrote that, like, Bible and God, you always capitalize things that have to do with religions. And in this case, the word Bible is not italicized. It's just not. And it's one of those just exceptions that we have in the English language. So I wanted to point that out to you too. Okay? So we are going to go to the next slide, which is quotation marks. So if you use italics and underlining with large works, what do you do with smaller works? And then those you use quotation marks. And understand when you're using quotation marks, of course, these are just for the smaller works like, actually, I don't know if you know this, but George Michael just died on Christmas. And I'm hoping that you know who George Michael is, but he was 53 and he was a 1980s singer who was amazing. And so he had an album, and the name of the album was Faith. So now I'm handwriting this, right? So if I were typing this, I would use italics. But because I'm handwriting it, the name of his CD, or was album at the time, was Faith. Okay, it came out in the 1980s. I'm going to underline that. And the name of a song on that album was Father Figure. So then I am going to use quotation marks for the song Father Figure because it's a shorter work. And if you look down here, these are examples of what you use quotation marks for poetry, for short stories, articles, songs, chapters, titles of websites, things like that. But those are some ideas of when you would use those. So there, anything that's smaller than a larger work, you're going to use quotation marks for that. Anyway, this is a quick and easy video. I hope this helped you. If you have any questions, you can always ask Ms. Wiggins, or you can ask me. But always just keep these rules in mind, and I hope that you have an amazing day, and I hope that this helped you.